guys, welcome back to part 6 of the Learn React series. And in this part, we're going to be talking about lifecycle methods. So, the way lifecycle methods work in React, or in functional components in React at least, is we use a hook. And this hook is called the useEffect hook. So, last time I showed you guys how to import the useState hook. The way we would import the useState hook was by adding useState like so. Now let's say we want to import useState and useEffect. We just add a comma here, and we'll put use effect. And now we're importing useState and useEffect. And if you just want to import useEffect, you could just get rid of this line here, and you have useEffect. But we want to use both. So the entire point of having lifecycle methods, what they do is, when the DOM re-renders at certain parts, they run and they do something. So our first example, what I'm going to show you, is going to be with state. So we're going to declare some state. We're going to create two pieces of state. The first one is going to be called value and set value, of course. And it's going to be equal to just a string. So we'll just do this. There we go. And now the next piece of state we're going to set is going to be a true false. So let's just do that really quickly. Const is, yeah, we're going to go with the name is true, and set is true. Perfect. And now we're going to set this equal to useState, of course. And this is just going to start off as false for us. There we go. So we have these two set up. And now we're going to create a quick function. So we're going to have a button on the page, and whenever that button is clicked, it's going to run two buttons actually, and it's going to run whatever function. So we're going to call this button set one, and here we're just going to have to set value to something else. So we'll make a set value, and we'll make it set value to hello. And then our next function, we're just going to copy paste this and change it up. So there we go, copy paste, and we're going to call this set2, and we're going to have it set is true. And what we want to do in this set state is we're going to set this to opposite of actually we'll set to true. Yeah. Now let me create my two buttons down here. I'll just command C this. And now we'll call this button string, so we know we're changing the string. And we'll call this one boolean. Perfect. Now we just gotta add our on click really quickly. And this one's gonna be set1, and we'll just copy paste our on click right here. And we'll call it set2. And we just need to make a little space. Perfect. Now what we're gonna do is, wait, I'm getting something right here. Okay, so now what we need to do, wait, value, let me just double check this, guys. Oh, yes, one more thing. We gotta make sure these two are displayed on the screen. So what we'll do is we'll create two H1s. My bad, I forgot about that. H1 and H1, perfect. And inside of here, we'll have value and is true be displayed. Is true. Perfect. These are indented kind of weird. Let's just fix that. Oh. Let's just fix that. Kind of bothering me. Okay, perfect. Now it's saying useEffect is defined but not used. Now what we're gonna do, let's just open up our app real quickly, and hello. So we can't see the boolean, but I'm assuming it's changing. And actually we can just get rid of that because we're not seeing anything anyways. And now we're gonna use our useEffect. So we have to declare it before the return statement. We'll declare it right here. use effect, and it's basically a function. So what we do is we had a pair of parentheses, and we have one parentheses surrounding that, and we're going to use arrow function syntax. So we have equals, and then we're going to have a pair of brackets and the surrounding parentheses. Perfect. And now in here, what we have, let's give this some spaces. I don't like how it looks like cramped. Okay, and in here, we're going to have whatever we want to happen when state changes. So when you have a use effect, a very basic use effect with nothing outside of it, like nothing, no arguments, what happens is the use effect, whatever code you have in here is executed every time the DOM re-renders. And the DOM re-renders most commonly on state changes. So let's say I put in a console.log here, console.log, and we'll put in here state changed. And now every time we click one of these buttons, state is gonna change. And when state changes, we'll know that state changed. We'll know that the use effect ran. Sorry. So we're gonna reload this, and I'm gonna open up the dev tools. Open up the console. Perfect. Just to ignore that, and this is not important either. So we'll click on the string, state changed. We'll click on the boolean, state changed. Now, if we press these again, nothing is gonna happen because it's setting it to a specific value. And when we click on string, it sets the state piece of string to hello, so it can't do that again. But if we changed set to set is true to the opposite of true, like so, then now every time we press this button right here, every time we press the boolean, it's gonna keep changing. It's gonna keep increasing the amount of times use effect is used. Look, because it keeps changing into the opposite of what the previous state was. So yeah, that's how we would do that. Now I want to show you guys how to use our use effect, but change it up a little bit. Sometimes when you're using a use effect, you only want it to sort of happen when a specific thing happens, like a specific piece of state changes. So we could add a comma right here and a pair of regular brackets. And in here, we can put in the name of whatever piece of state we want to watch. So we can type in value here. And now whenever this piece of state changes, the use effect will run. This looks kind of cramped. I'm just going to add some spaces. But yeah, so whenever this piece of state changes, this will run. So we'll just reload. And now we're going to press string, state change. Now, we can't press string one more time because it's set to a definite string, so it's not going to work. And we'll click the boolean, nothing's going to happen because it's only going to watch for string. Now what we can do is, I'll show you the same thing, and I'll set it to is true to show you how it would work with the boolean. Okay, reload it, and you can see works perfectly. The number keeps increasing for the boolean. Perfect. If I click the string, it comes to the stage, and it changes the value of that piece of state, but it doesn't affect it. Like our use effect isn't triggered by it. Another thing you can do, another way you can use the use effect, is in class-based components. There are two lifecycle methods, the main lifecycle methods: component did mount and component did unmount. And the way those work is those run every time the component mounts and unmounts. So if we really wanted to, we could change this to just a pair of empty brackets. And now whenever the component mounts, this is going to run. But it's not going to run again, only when the component mounts and unmounts. So we could add a return here. And we'll have a console.log in here as well. And we'll change the message now to component unmount. And we'll change this to component did mount. Perfect. Now let's take a look. Reload. We got component did mount, component unmount. Now you might be wondering why that happened. It's because as soon as that ran, it's like, okay, the component mounted and now unmounted. If state changes, nothing's gonna happen, but the component instantly mounts and unmounts. Now, to look at this in more detail, I think if we get rid of this return, it it won't work anymore because the return tells it that's when the component unmounts. We want it to run then. So if I change this to now, I don't think it's gonna work. Oh, it still worked. Okay, oh, but actually it didn't work in the unmount context. So right now what happened was this was run on the mount. There's nothing we declared for the unmount. So this all ran when the component mounted. Anyways, these are the three methods to use. Three ways you can use lifecycle methods and use effects specifically in React. Mostly, I didn't even mention this. Mostly, use effect is used to do processes in the background when your program is trying to focus on more like tiny things that it can do in the background. So use effect is usually used um for fetching from APIs. And I didn't mention that at all because we're going to talk about it in a different lesson. It's like a full lesson. But yeah, just keep that in mind and try to think about how use effect could be used to, call APIs. Anyways, that was the lesson for today, and I will see you guys in part 7. Peace.